In this video, I'm conducting an interview with Jeff Caruso, CEO of Crisloid Backgammon boards. There are many boards out there. When you go to tournaments, you see all sorts of different boards, and this is a great opportunity to learn about this particular brand, Crisloid, that's been around for a very long time. So I'm looking forward to learning more about the Crisloid boards. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll work on that. With the membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. Again, in this video, it's my pleasure to be conducting an interview with CEO of Crisloid, Jeff Caruso. Welcome.
Thank you, Alex. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for asking. How are you doing today?
Great. Yeah, doing really well.
And you're joining us from Providence, Rhode Island. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's correct. Providence, Rhode Island.
That's where the Crisloid factory is. Is that
That's right.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Looking forward to learning a lot more about the Crisloid boards. I'd like to start with a little bit of background biographical information, if I may. Please tell us where you were born and raised and what you did after school.
Well, I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, but then quickly moved a little bit throughout the Northeast and Northern New York. But most from kindergarten on, I was in just outside of Albany, New York, a little town called Loudonville. Great town to grow up, great location to grow up, just south of Saratoga, but plenty of access to the Adirondack Mountains. And as a New Yorker, I found my way to one of the SUNY schools, the college SUNY of Oswego, which
Okay.
happens to be about 40 minutes north of Syracuse, right on Lake Ontario.
And for those who are not familiar, that stands for State University of New York, right?
That's, yeah, yeah.
Very good, very good. So you don't play backgammon much, but when were you first introduced to backgammon?
Well, I don't play it often, but I've played it for quite a long time. Mostly just in casual play with my brother, my wife, and so I'm not a tournament player. I'd
Yeah.
be willing to give it a shot, but I don't think I'd make it far.
Did you learn when you were growing up?
Yeah, we always had it around. So, Chris Lloyd has been in our family for generations. In and out of the family more so. So boards have been in our closet and on our game table for as long as I can remember.
Very good. What kinds of hobbies and interests do you have outside of backgammon?
Well, quite a few, although I will say that the majority of my time is spent at Chris Lloyd. And if I'm in Providence, if I'm at home, you'll find me at the shop. It's just about 7 days a week. Yeah, and I don't mind being there. It's a very comfortable place for me to be, and really, quite honestly, it's called for. We're a small, but we're growing, and so I'm really proud of the time I spend there.
Yeah, that's great. Crisloid is a very well-known manufacturer of backgammon boards, as well as other things that we'll talk about. And so people know about it. It's been around for a very long time. Good quality. We'll talk about that. How did you first get into the Crisloid business?
Well, dating back to the 40s, my great uncles Alphonse and Lucky Lodato started A&L Manufacturing.
Okay.
He built this wonderful small business in Brooklyn, New York. It was very much a family affair as it was in its starting years. They did grow it. They did a wonderful factory in Brooklyn. And in the mid 50s, they met a gentleman named Chris Ruizzo, who founded Crisloid in Providence, Rhode Island. He was also in the plastics business, but he was in the game business, leaning heavily toward plastics and more volume production. So he and my great uncles found one another, and for years were buying and selling from each other to help round out their line of products. And then in the 60s, or right in the early 60s, the plastics craze hit. And Chris Ruizzo of Crisloid became very busy. His company just skyrocketed. And he was a bright guy in the right place at the right time. So he started to buy other vendors. And in 1970, he purchased A&L Manufacturing, my great uncle's company,
Okay.
and moved everything from Brooklyn to here to Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay.
Part of that sale, my great uncles sent their nephew, my uncle Jerry, to Rhode Island along with my Aunt May and their three children. And my uncle Jerry, who was a very bright Army engineer, made Crisloid and his life's work. 4 or 5 business owners later, my uncle was really the only guy left that really knew what was going on in this business. And so he made the purchase in the mid 80s and took Crisloid over, which I'm very thankful for.
Very good. I think the people are most familiar with the unique aspect of the Crisloid boards in terms of the cork surface. There aren't a lot of other manufacturers, at least nowadays, that have that. So maybe you can tell us about that, maybe how they decided on that, if you know, or and the advantages and disadvantages of having that type of surface.
Well, it's a great question. I don't really have the answer to how it came to be, how early on, but I mean, so many boards from I can from the 60s and the 50s have cork on them. And so I think it became there's a couple reasons. So it's a nice product to work with. Um, Historically, it was a lot more readily available, I think, than it is today. So it's a workable product in a manufacturing environment, and it's a printable product. So I think the two really worked well together. And before long, they realized it was really a nice playing surface. There's a little bounce to the feel. The sound is nice. The dice get a little spring of action on the cork. And just in general, it has a real nice warm feeling to it. And so yeah, our boards have always really intimately been uh, um, connected to cork surfaces. And I don't know if everyone is aware, but the best cork in the world comes from Portugal.
Really?
And so we've always brought our cork in from Portugal. And from there, it's processed through, it's trimmed and mounted, sealed and printed. Um, and in more recent years, really because of the popularity of cork, one in the wine industry and a few other industries, it hasn't been as easy uh, to to produce. Um, the only other element that not everybody is aware of, but it's a renewable resource. Cork, it comes from a cork tree, which I think it's every 4 or 7 years the tree is ready to then be harvested again. And so they peel the tree and then they leave it to replenish, and it grows back again in not too many years down the road. So that's also a really nice fact that not only people realize that.
Interesting, interesting. So let's briefly talk about what are the other things you manufacture other than backgammon boards.
Several classics, checkers, dominoes, cribbage, and in the last 10 years, we have started to manufacture mahjong
Mm.
sets again. And I'm really, really, really happy we started making boards again, mahjong sets again. It's a wonderful community, also a very heavily growing community, and we've really been thankful to produce some beautiful boards and have been well received by the mahjong folks. So it's been very nice.
Yeah, they're great boards. The Crisloid boards, at least the backgammon boards. I haven't seen the Mahjong because I'm not familiar with those other ones, but I know those are high quality as well. I watch a lot of backgammon on YouTube, and recently I was watching the tournament in Jamaica, which was sponsored by Crisloid, and I saw the
Yeah.
beautiful board there that was customized.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for noticing it. We were really excited. Jeb reached out. We had a couple conversations, and it was our pleasure to sponsor and to make that custom board for the live stream Felt, that's a felt board, and it's
Is
really,
it?
yeah, it's felt. Yeah, so we are now into the felt game, and
Oh,
that's probably one of the first 25 that we've done. We've teased it a few times, but we have to be really smart about how we roll out a new product. So
right.
and people have been calling for felt from us for a long time, and so we did our work, we did our homework, and we found the right supplier, the right felt supplier. And we did a lot of R&D. So one prototype after another. We did well over a year's worth of testing, um, and we feel really good about that set that we shipped to Jamaica. And that was sort of I'd say its international debut for felt Crisloid
That's
boards.
interesting. I don't know if maybe they mentioned it in the stream. I know Larry Schiller and Phil Simborg were doing it. I didn't
Yeah.
watch everything from beginning to end, so they may have mentioned that, but I didn't know that. So that's interesting. What made you decide to go into felt? People were asking about it.
Yeah, we had to answer the call. The many tournament players, want to play on felt. Excuse me. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I think felt is interesting. Most of the boards that I've seen are on felt. There's also all sorts of different types. Like I've seen the merino wool that's very high quality.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a different manufacturing process that you have to go through with felt versus cork. Tell us about that, please.
Well, the manufacturing process is something I have outsourced that
Okay,
element of it. We didn't bring in the machinery and the equipment and the fabrics, and we're doing it in-house. Now, I don't necessarily want to do that.
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I've found a wonderful group that's what they do. They're very good at it, and so I'd like to build that relationship. Um, we've got enough work to do.
Yeah. That's good. So I know you can customize the boards. I see the custom board behind you, but you can customize the felt as well.
Yeah, yeah. So we knew once it really doesn't. A big part of what we do now is customization. So I knew, even though we were introducing, we have a line of 3 new colorways that'll be on our website in a few weeks.
Okay.
But everybody wants custom. So we have absolutely developed, that system for customizing the felt boards also. They'll just take a little bit longer.
Right.
But the fit and finish of those sets is really, really beautiful.
That's great. So speaking of customization, I know you have that custom board behind you. That's a little special. Can you tell us about that one, please?
Yeah, that's a stock board. It's one of our signature series. That's called our Ocean State. So you can see that there's little sailboats. It's a really nicely designed set. And so Rhode Island is the Ocean State. There's a lot of sailing going on here, and it was a little nod to our hometown. And it's a great seller. It's nice for we sell it to a lot of people who have a summer camp, or maybe have visited someone that treated them pretty well. And so then they're gifting this for them to their camp or their place on Nantucket or the Vineyard or Montauk, so it's a nice set. It's a good feel good set. It looks good open and left out. So yeah, we love the colors. Very good, vibrant colors.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a stock one. And in terms of the customization, what are the various aspects of the board that can be customized for the viewers?
Yeah, so we make everything at Crisloid, and we cast our own checkers. So we have a casting department, we have the cutting department, the wet tubbing, the polishing, wood shop, case department, printing, fit and finish, and so because we do all of those things there, and the boards get built along the way, we can customize just about any element of the board. Most common are the playing fields. You can choose your own point colors, your point styles. If you want to add a logo or some initials, that's a great place to do it. Some people like a nice classic visual, so they'll customize the bumpers, any of the bumpers. The leather cups is a really nice, really, the chestnut brown leather cup with a nice engraving of a name or an initial or a logo is really, really sharp. We can customize the checkers, um, which is, which in some instances it's nice. In some instances it becomes a little too busy if every checker is, has something custom about it. And then the exterior of the case we can customize too, and that's it's a really nice finish to have a family crest or a last name, some initials. It's a nice piece.
Yeah, that's really nice. I think that's a really nice touch to a board when you can customize all the different features and you have that whole factory where you can do that. My friend Candace Maron came there and
Yeah.
visited and toured it, so she told me a lot about that. How was that tour? I think she had a lot of fun.
She sure did. Yeah, she's the best. She came in, big smile and just the pure joy and excitement. And yeah, she was great. And so we're glad to have her on the Crisloid team. That's for sure.
Yeah, she loves all the colors, and I know that the cubes can be customized too. There are a lot of beautiful cubes, right?
Yeah, I left that out. Yeah. So the doubling cubes, we have a stock doubler that goes with most of the sets, and then from there we can customize. There are some larger 2-inch cubes that people have come to really enjoy getting customized. The oversized cube has a good hand feel to it, and they do look beautiful when they're done.
Yeah, she said the factory is really big. How large is the factory itself, actually?
Current footprint where we operate is 18,000 feet.
Wow.
The building is 46,000 feet, and back in the 70s, Chris Lloyd occupied every square inch, and it was,
Wow.
yeah. Back then, we were making 2 million dice every 2 weeks. Would go out the door.
Wow.
Parker Brothers, Mattel, Hasbro. It was a big operation. It sure was.
Now the dice you make them in-house, but these dice are not the precision dice that are usually used, right?
Well, we no longer make dice.
Oh,
So when I yeah when I purchased Chris Lloyd in 2008, we were still operating as a volume wholesale manufacturing company. We had hundreds of retail partners all over the country and some internationally. But that model was not working for us. And so throughout after I purchased, didn't happen overnight, but I made a major change to Chris Lloyd in that we had to change our business model from volume wholesale and go direct to consumer.
I see.
We needed to realize that additional margin in order to not only survive, but to thrive in a way that needed to happen in order to improve our product line, employ good craftsmen, and we were able to pull that off. It was not easy. It was not an easy time. I promise you that. But we've come out, and I'm very proud of the finished work and the team that we have in place now. It's all about the team. I promise you that. It's a good group of people, everybody working together, and really also proud to see how nice of a finished product.
Yeah. How many employees do you have in the company now?
14.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good number. So, in terms of the dice, you just outsource them, but when you buy a board, it comes with dice, right?
Yeah, we outsource. I mean,
Right.
there was a time where everybody wanted Chris Lloyd dice, but throughout the late 70s and the 80s, they just wanted nice dice, and plenty of nice dice were coming in from overseas. So it just was a business decision to make that happen. And so we just buy them now.
Very good. I wanted to also display the website to showcase some of the products because this is really beautiful. There's a lot of great stuff here. So, are you able to see the website now on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll let you guide us through it. So let me know where you want to go, and then we can kind of go through all the different features.
Well, sure. Just, I mean, I guess if you are, well, you just scroll down a little bit. We can go from left to right under the products section.
Okay, so there are all these products here. I'll go slowly. I'll put it here. So We have attaché backgammon, custom backgammon, signature backgammon, tabletop backgammon, and travel backgammon.
Sure. Really, we could go through all of them, but I don't think that's necessary per se. But if you click on signature backgammon,
Signature
um,
back. Okay.
these are just they're very this is a very popular segment of our boards. They're just a little more design oriented, a little more thoughtful, a little more color, not necessarily just like our classic series, which is brown and white versus
Right.
the legacy series are the top three there that you see here. You get a
Yeah.
little play on maybe beer brewing. So you got your legacy barley, you got your legacy hops, and you have your legacy midnight. And so um, all three of those come with our grooved checkers.
Oh, they're the groove checkers. Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's one item that is sort of separates this set from another set.
Let's see if I can find one. Is there a close-up of the checkers?
Yeah, it'll probably be
Uh,
some
Right here. Okay, so this. Oh, so these are grooved, like a
yeah.
finger dish style,
Yes.
and the exterior is really beautiful. I noticed like the classic ones have the circles at the tip, um, and I recognize that. That's like a Crisloid.
Yeah, we've tried to pay homage to some of the history. We've seen some with the inline point, the circle. There's just that little point circle at the top, which it's a nice touch. It feels it just brings a little element to it.
And this looks like a custom cube. Let me see if there's a close-up. Yeah, this is a custom cube, isn't it?
Well, that cube comes with every set.
I see.
Now, at one point, yes, that was custom, but now we make them with our logo on the 64 side on every set that goes
I
out.
see. I see. Really nice. And then this was the one that you were talking about,
Yep, that's the
the
one that's
Ocean
on the
State.
background, our Ocean State. Yep. That series does not have groove checkers, but um, it's price reflects that also.
These are the flat checkers. What I like about this is there's a compartment for the cups here, so that
Yeah.
fits nicely. If you see other manufacturers, they don't necessarily have that. So when you're carrying it, the dice cups are kind of like rolling around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really like that. And then it has the clasps on either side. And the thing that I noticed is like on the bar, you can hardly see the hinges.
Yeah, hinges, we historically we used to cover the middle bar with a flap. And again, listening to the customer, it just one, it wasn't necessary, and two, it was a little encumbering. Sometimes the checker wouldn't stay on that flap, so we just got rid of it. Um, that is an area that we've tried multiple different ways to hinge the set, and we haven't changed it yet because this is just the best way.
Yeah, and you can't even see it. And this one's a beautiful, like a camouflage one.
Yeah, it's our multicam. That's popular, very popular. Most multicam is a very popular brand in the camo world. They're a great company, and they got a very large contract. Believe it or not, that is a very um, uh, smart camo design, and it was approved by uh, the armed forces.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the price point is very competitive for these products. Look at those beautiful swirl checkers. I really like that. Um,
Yeah, thank
so with these, the standard ones are like 1 3/4 inch size checkers. Is that right?
correct. So
And then
our sizing for the tournament size these are tournament attaché sets. So the
okay,
indicator is the tournament that indicates 1 3/4 inch diameter checker.
I see. And then it looks like here you can fit maybe 11 checkers across.
You can,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep. They're all designed to do 11 across.
Okay, so that's actually nice because some people prefer the shorter boards that they can reach across a little bit
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Oh, this kind of goes through it by itself. So that's nice, and it's got the nice sturdy handle there.
Yeah.
Beautiful
All of our,
exterior.
much of our hardware, so again, we made a lot of changes. It's not always easy to keep up with new photography and new changes. So some of these images are a bit dated. We are in the process now of doing photography. So on our more premium boards, we have new handle, new hardware, really, again, just updated stuff and feels very nice. Yeah.
Right. One of the things I noticed is you can put like a custom imprint on the bumper, the side, the edges here.
Yeah, that's correct. That I was mentioning on the bumpers before. We've had some people uh, customize every single bumper, phrasing all the way
Oh,
around.
wow.
Yeah, some fun stuff.
Interesting. Okay. So let me get out of this one. Okay. So that was this one. So let's go back. What was the next one you would like to look at?
Well, the travel sets is a nice section.
Okay. So how big are these travel set ones?
Well, you're testing me here. I couldn't tell you the name of the
Oh,
exact.
well, what are the sizes of the checkers, for example?
Yeah, so this particular one is a newest set this year, and this is our magnetic travel set. If you're watching and you don't want it
Oh,
magnetic,
here it is.
yes, we could do it non-magnetic.
Yeah.
Um, but that's a 1.25 inch checker.
Okay.
And so again, doing a lot of R&D before we went ahead and introduced this, we found a nice balance from, it's not a heavily magnetized um, uh, checker to board. There's really you don't notice the drag when you're moving the checkers around. But if the board gets bumped or you want to move it, it holds plenty well.
Yeah.
So thinking boat or plane or train, and so it's a great, great finish and a nice feel to this set. We have cold roll steel underneath the cork,
Oh,
and every one of our checkers um, is drilled, and magnets are, we do that in our shop, drilled and the magnet
okay.
placed and glued, and it's a little tedious, but it makes for a very nice finish set.
Does that make things a little heavier?
Yeah, it sure does.
Okay.
Not so heavy where you're like, I don't want to put that in my
Right.
carry bag,
But
or
reasonable.
but from those two, between the magnet and the steel, now it's a thin roll of steel. So,
Right.
but yes, it's, I think each one of those is 5 pounds. Uh,
Okay, that's not too bad. I also noticed the checker racks are one row of 15, which is unique. Most of the Crisloids are three rows of five.
yeah, that's correct. And this is the only one we have. And the reason we did it here, we have leather fold-up cups that would come with this, so
Ah,
you can just lay flat in the middle. And then it also kept that board just a little smaller. If it needed to be bigger or the checkers to fit the
yeah.
other way, it was going to go a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. And so it's nice and clean. Love this board.
Yeah, good. Okay, so let's see. So these were the travel ones. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's look at, let's go back. There are some other one. The tabletop is just like a non-foldable one, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
So you just leave it.
Yeah, this has been a staple Chris Lloyd for a long time. And I will say it's due for a little bit of an update, but it's very popular. It's very functional. People buy them, they love to leave them out. And, like our attaché boards, they last forever. People send their boards back to be refurbed, and they're 50 years old, 60 years old. We polish the checkers, throw in some new cork, and it's going to last another several generations. So we love that.
This is like a piece of art you can put in your home.
Yes, yeah, I agree. It looks good. It looks good just sitting out on the
And look
table.
at all the different styles that you have. And the price points are very competitive for, the high quality product that you get. I think the thing that most of the viewers are probably interested in is the custom ones. So maybe we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we do a lot of custom boards. I mean, there are multiple, um, you know,
Huh.
I don't know
So
how
let's
many,
see.
I don't know how many a week, but a lot.
Wow,
So
beautiful. Oh, you have different ones here. Let's see. Look at that. I wanted to showcase some of the custom designs. You can put your
yeah,
names on it. Oh, this is what you were talking about. You can put it on.
yeah,
You can write like a whole poem on there. And then, wow, look at all the checkers.
yeah. Yeah, we have
So
mountains of custom.
if you want to design a custom board, this is how you do it, right? So maybe we can go through the process for people. So here it takes
Yeah,
what
the
what was
process, this particular process is what I would consider, it's good for the customer to go through this so they can kind of think about what they might want. They can see some of the options. And then we get an email with their baseline, what it is they want.
what they
And
want.
we follow that up with um, uh, a graphic that builds what they had in mind. And then what we do essentially at that point, we open it up for conversation. Do you like these
Uh,
colors together? Do you like this size? We also can offer some expertise. Say, well, this is nice, but what do you think about this? And what do you think about this? Because we do these all day long, and we don't charge for, you make as many edits as you'd like until you're happy, and then we build. Typically, it's not that much back and forth. It doesn't. We get there pretty quickly, and a lot of happy customers.
So let's go back here. Let's do some stock ones. What's the custom points colors? So you can, what are popular custom point colors?
Well, blue and white is the most popular of anything we do.
Okay.
Um, yeah, if
I'm
you have
just kind of going through the
logo,
process so people can see it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
custom leather cups, very popular.
Wow, wow. That's nice. Okay. This is really easy. You just kind of click.
Yeah, yeah, and then it gives you a sense where your price point is. Um, and like I said, we get the email, and then we're in touch right away, and we get designing for you.
Wow, look at that. And it's fast. Custom badge. No thanks for now. Which font? You can select the font
Yeah.
and rush your order. So what's the typical turnaround time for a custom board?
On average, 3 weeks. Some weeks it's two. This time of year, we're going to start pushing three for sure. And if anybody out there is listening and wants to order a stock or a custom for holiday, don't wait. Just don't.
Yeah. The holidays are busy.
Yeah.
That's actually a really fast turnaround time. I've talked with other manufacturers and it's like a year. And I think
Yeah.
that's really long.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we've got a dedicated team. And because we do everything there and we've got a wonderful flow to the work process,
Mhm.
um, it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I'm sure there are people out there that may listen and say, well, mine was five. Some will say
Yeah,
mine,
yeah, that's
some
not a
will say
big
mine was
deal.
one, but
Yeah.
but on average, yeah.
But that's good. Okay, so is there anything else you wanted to see on the website? Maybe the blog? Is there something on the blog?
Oh, we've got a great blog. Yeah, we really do. It's not all backgammon. We talk about a little of this and a little of that. It's very current. Um, and just, some really good writing here.
Okay, good. Who
Yeah.
who writes your blog? You have one of the employees.
Well, my brother Brian actually writes
Oh,
it.
nice.
Yeah, he's a writer. And so
Very good.
he's constantly nudging me to think of another topic, and
Uh,
he does a wonderful job. Yeah.
this is a nice picture. It looks like the manufacturing process.
Yeah, that's one of them. We had I don't remember, we had a photographer come through for uh, it might have been Google who came through. Won, we had won an award from Google at,
Oh wow.
years back. So they sent a photographer, and he was kind enough to let us use uh,
Good.
some of the photos.
And then here we could read a little bit about the about. I think you already discussed it, but uh the viewers can just kind of go through this and read through there the frequently asked questions, FAQ. So people have other questions, all the answers are here. And
They
then
are, yeah. It's up very updated. Amy, who runs the office, makes sure that FAQ is up to date. She
and
appreciates it if you read it too, please.
this is how, yeah, this is how you contact. So you could fill out this form or call here, and you're right there
There we
in
are.
Providence, Rhode Island. Very good. Okay, so I'll stop that. Very good. So that was really interesting. I mean, I think people that like backgammon, a lot of them like boards. They like different boards, and this is a great option because they can kind of customize the boards, or you have a lot of stock boards. The price point is very competitive. I guess we didn't see a lot of cubes. I know you have a lot of custom cubes. Were they on the website?
No, I think we're lacking there, to be honest with you. And it's something that's on our list for our next version of our website, which we're not going to attack it now because really this home stretch to the end of the year will be tough.
Yeah,
We're excited for it, and happy for it. But come late winter, we're going to be updating our site, and doubling cubes will be have a nice section, a nice well deserved section on the
I've
site.
seen some of those doubling cubes. They're beautiful. As a matter of fact, Candace had some, and
Yeah,
she put them on like a base to make them into trophies.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
those are nice. I feel like in some of these tournaments, like the doubling cube is the trophy. So maybe you could like, are you able to like customize it and say like winner of this tournament or something like that?
Yeah, we have done that, and there's a few tournaments we do it for now. We have to be a little careful because they take a lot of work.
Oh yeah,
They don't, they're outside of our typical flow and production, and so
right.
so we're not looking to get into the trophy business,
Yeah,
but we do understand that it adds value and it does, draw attention back to us. But it's they're not easy to do some of those projects. Yeah.
yeah. Well, great. We talked a lot about the Crisloid products. We saw the website. It's been really a pleasure to have you, and I learned a lot. What else? Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about, or did we miss anything?
No, I agree. I think we covered quite a bit. You've mentioned price point a few times, and I'm glad to hear you say we try to provide the best value in the business, and I think we do a good job of that. And we're always leading with quality first. We don't increase our prices nearly as much as some people suggest, but we put a lot of thought in. There have been many people that say, geez, $500 is a lot for a backgammon set. Those people have also come to visit and take the tour. And on their way out the door, they'll never question the $500 or the 300 or the 600, just because they see what it takes to build the set. They see our team there. Um, and we never take that for granted. We know 3, 4, 500 for backgammon and quite a bit more for mahjong. We know that's a lot of money, and we don't take that lightly. So we try to provide great value.
Yeah, it is absolutely like one of the best values. I've seen boards from like, $10 board you can buy at the toy store for up to over $10,000 boards. So it kind of depends on the individual, their budget, kind of what they want to do.
Yeah.
But that's a very reasonable price point for what you're getting and what you can play on if you go to a tournament and things like that. You see boards that are this size, and this is really really good quality for what you pay for.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, well, wonderful. So I'll put all the contact information in the description so people can go to the online store and they can place their orders. And it would be a pleasure to have you back if you ever want to talk about something else, or even maybe
Okay,
play a game on
let's
maybe
do it.
one of the virtual XG board. I don't think I have a virtual Crisloid XG board. I have many of them, but maybe I'll have to get one and then we can play a game.
That would be cool. That would be cool. It might be a fast game, but I'll warm up a little bit for sure.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Okay, great. Thank you very much to
Hey,
my
Alex.
friend Jeff Caruso of Crisloid
Thank you.
Backgammon Boards and other games. We'll go ahead and conclude the video. Thank you to the viewers for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you like to see in future videos. I'll work on it. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high quality content that you enjoy. And with a membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. Again, my book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.